Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a really long time since we've got anything out, but I just want to take a minute to thank all the new subscribers. We're at almost 400 subscribers right now, I believe, which is pretty awesome. Wasn't real sure how this YouTube channel was going to go. I don't do it for money. I do it in my spare time. And if you're new to the channel, I don't put stuff out there unless I use it myself. I'll tell you the good, I'll tell you the bad, I'll tell you how much it costs, I'll tell you what I like about it, what I didn't like about it. I try to do things in a budget because honestly, I just don't have a lot of money. This is a hobby, something I do. I do some other videos with some of my other friends and their YouTube channels, and I just try to focus on things that I think we can get the best value out of our money, try to make things durable, make them last, and things like that. So today we're back to work on the Amazon cage crawler. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It was a build series where we bought all the parts off of Amazon. I believe it's for the axles that I borrowed from Scott. But everything came from Amazon. We built the whole thing on 3 or 4 video series. So we went out and did some test runs, added a few more things. Today we're back to add some axles. I have the straight axles from Axial, which are on it right now, which work great, but they're plastic housing. They work great for what they are, but I wanted to upgrade to all aluminum axles so that I can get some more weight down low. We've already added brass weights to the wheels, and the thing crawls great. It crawled great from day one, and every little thing we did, some shock tuning, adding weight, it's just got better and better. I think this is really going to help. We're getting aluminum axles, overdrive gears in the front, standard drive gears in the rear. We're adding lockers, all aluminum shock mounts. Everything's aluminum. It's all going to be unsprung weight. It's going to help this thing stick to the ground, stick to those rock faces, and hopefully be able to do some pretty awesome crawls. So the thing's been amazing so far. Hope you've enjoyed the series. We got the parts. Let me turn around and show you what they are. It was a bit pricey, but I'll explain myself as we go. It was probably about $180, $200 for all these parts, and you guys are going, wow, that's not budget. Well, that's true, but you can get plastic housing axles for 50 to 60 bucks from Enduro for a pair of axles. When they break, you're not going to be able to fix them. That's what I did first. I got a set of Enduro axles for the green Jeep, and I snapped the front axle shaft. Cannot find any axle shafts that are the same size that will fit in those Enduro housings. Yes, I could buy another pair of Enduro axles for another $50 and would still only be at 100 bucks, but I just don't like that. I'm going to spend the money now, have all replaceable parts. None of these parts are from the same company, but they are all Axial based components that work together from companies that I trust. And all the links to the parts will be in the description. So, let's get it turned around, and I'll show you what we got. This is everything we got. Now, this is about $200 worth of parts. But keep in mind, you don't have to go this far. You can start out with just a few of these things and make some really good axles. But I'm going all in. I've ordered these parts over the last couple months, and everything's in now so I can get started. So let me go over what I got so you know if you build these 100% bulletproof axles, this is how much you're going to spend. And then I'll show you some options that you can save money and then be able to do this yourself. So everything, we're doing front and rear axles, so we need 2 of everything basically. So starting out with our aluminum axle housings, the links will be in the description as far as the name and the link to Amazon. Also guys, I am an Amazon affiliate now, which doesn't mean that I get paid to sponsor these products. It means if you use the link in the description below to buy this part, it doesn't cost you anything else, but it does help the channel. I get about 3% of what it costs you to buy it, so that does help the channel out. Doesn't cost you anything. So these are not sponsored products. I paid for every one of these, but if you like them and you want to order them and you want to help out the channel, use the links below because it does help. Anyway, These aluminum axles, these were $22.99 each. They are real good quality, very heavy. I don't have a scale to weigh them, but they're definitely more than a plastic housing. Very nice quality axle housings. They are $22.99, so we ordered 2 of those. This is a complete locker set, C-hubs, and I don't know if you call these spindles or knuckles, whatever you want to call them. But basically that's for the front steering, and you got your C-hubs. Those 2 pieces go together, and these are the rear lockers which hold the bearings and the axles in the rear housing. This was all one price. I believe these were from GoolRC, so this was one package, and it was $24.99. I'll try to put the prices on the screen as I go. So $24.99 for those. That's one set for both front and rear. These were $22.99 each. Let's see, the bearing sets, these were just a bearing set for Axial SEX102 AR44. So this is every bearing you need to go in the housing. We ordered 2 of those. When you order these axle housings, they do not come with the shock mounts. So I ordered these aluminum shock mounts. These were $11.32 each. Now there's 2 in there, which is enough for one axle, so we ordered 2 of those at $11.32 each. And from there, let's see, we got the lockers. So these are SSD lockers. Basically what this is when your axle shaft slides in, it's not an open diff, it's a locked diff. It'll constantly be geared. Both wheels will spin at the same time. These are from SSD for the SEX102 44 axles. These are the 6 lug type, which I will show you, and they were $9.99 each. So I went with the SSD. Let's see, this looks like the rear gear set. It is 8 on the tooth and 30 on the ring gear. So this is a standard drive set, but you can see it has the 6 holes which will bolt to the locker. And that one standard was $23.55. And I could not find the overdrive gear that I wanted in SSD, so I went with Treal, which is another company that I trust. And this is the overdrive front. It is 8 and 27, so it's slightly overdriven in the front. This was $25.98. And again, it's the 6 bolt pattern, so it should bolt right up to the lockers. And let's see, it was $25.98 if I didn't just say that. So there's $200 worth of parts, and here is the axles that I went with. This is a stainless steel set of axles, front and rear, the CV joint style, and these were $11.49. Now I can tell you, for $11.49 stainless steel, probably from China, I took my micrometer and I measured these, and these are exactly the same. This is a standard Axial axle shaft, and I measured it to this one that's $11.49, and it's exactly the same length. Both ends are the same. The spacing between the bearings and everything is the same. So we're going to give these a try. I do have Axial axle shafts if I want to trade these. But honestly, guys, for $12 front and rear, if I snap one, it's not that big deal to replace it. And for less than 12 bucks, I can keep another bag of these in my go bag. And if I snap one on the trail, I can fix it right then and there. It's not going to take long. I'm not sitting on $60 worth of axle shafts. I'll take a $12 set with me wherever I go and be able to fix it. So that's one way you can save money, right? So we got $200 worth of parts here. These were 12 bucks. That's not a bad price. I would not go any cheaper than the $10 per set of bearings. You're going to get your money's worth out of that. Do you need aluminum lockers and C-hubs and all that? Absolutely not. You can go a little cheaper on that if you want to, or if you have a set of standard Axial axles, you can probably use the lockers off of that. Here's going to be your big money saver, right? I ordered lockers, and I ordered overdrive and standard gear sets that are all changeable. Why? Because if I don't like the overdrive, I can order a standard gear set and put that in the front, and then it'll just be standard. If I want to change my gear sets later, or something breaks, I can switch these out and fine-tune this thing any way I want to. Do I need these lockers? No. Do I need these gear sets? Absolutely not. You can order ones that are complete. It's all molded together. You get the ring and pinion gear and locker. It's all made together, and you would probably save some money that way. So you don't have to spend the 200 bucks to begin with. You can build it as you go. But like I said, this has been over a couple months that I've slowly ordered parts. I think these GoolRC were not in stock locally, so they took the slow boat from China, so that took about a month to get here. I wasn't in a hurry. The thing works great as it is, so this is just, I think, going to help improve everything. So I'm going to probably not build both axles on video. I'm going to put a little blue Loctite on the lockers and the gears, and maybe on the shock mounts. I don't think those will be coming back off, but I don't think I'm going to put Loctite on anything else right now until I think it needs it. But I think just the lockers and the shock mounts are not going to be coming back off. And I don't think I'm going to be... A little Loctite on the lockers and gears will probably be it. Other than that, we'll get some grease in them, get all the bearings. I'll probably do like a high-speed build of one of the axles, just so this video doesn't end up being 30-40 minutes long and I end up losing you guys. I don't want to make it a two-part video, so I'll probably just lay it out, show you how they go together, and then do a time lapse on one axle. Alright, so we got everything laid out. We have our front C-hubs and our front knuckles. We have the 4 brass inserts and the screws for the pivots on the knuckles. Our 2 shock mounts and also our link mounts. Our axle housing. Our ring and pinion gear, which this is the front. I figured I'd build the front. That would be a little easier. If you build the front, you can definitely build the back because there's less parts. You basically just put these caps on instead of the knuckles and C-hubs. So if you can build the front, you can do the back. So this will be the overdrive gear. So this is the Treal gear on the SSD locker. And just want you guys to see this fitment, okay? These are 2 different companies. And just look how tight that fitting is, right? The 6 bolt holes line up perfectly. 2 different companies. Alright, you ready to blow your mind? 3rd company. These are the, I think these are the Dilwe brand axle shafts that we got. Alright, see that? That is a tight fit. That, if you go back and watch my Endura axle video on the Amazon Endura axles, you could turn this thing 180 degrees with the slop that was in there, okay? These were actually so tight, if you can tell. I took my file and just kind of deburred the edge. You can see the score marks there where I just kind of scuffed the edge. Just took my file on an angle and just kind of knocked some of this chrome off of there, and that is a nice tight fit. Here is a standard Axial brand axle. Still, it even has just a tiny bit of play, but these are not chrome plated. So those are stainless steel and they look like they have chrome on them. These are just steel with their not plated, so that probably takes up some of the slop, but there's no slop in there. I mean, it's, if you can see how much it's wiggling, that's a stock Axial shaft. This is the $11 for all 4 shaft, and that thing is tight. So that's 3 brands working together. So we're going to get this locker on there. If you put it in the right way. Put the locker on, and then your pinion will drop down inside the housing. The Treal set came with 6 screws, and then the locker itself came with like 8 screws. They sent extra. So if you've got more screws, just use the ones that came with the locker. put the rest to the side. I did check them, they're all the same, so you're going to have some extra parts here. Each company provides their own, so that was nice. We're going to start dropping our bearings in. They're pretty simple to figure out. There's, let's see, there's only 10 bearings in there, right? So you got this guy here that's a shielded bearing. Well, they're all shielded except for the 2 that go around the ring and pinion. We're going to drop that guy in first. And this might be a tight fit, so just get you a screwdriver or something that fits in there. We'll try this nut driver. Alright, so we got our number 1 bearing down in there, seated flat. We'll put the outside one on last because it's not going to stay in there probably without the drive shaft. I may put just a little glue on the inside of the housing to keep it in place because this does not have a snap ring to hold the bearing in place. So I'm going to switch to time lapse, just put everything together. I'm going to start with the ring gear and pinion, then move on to the shocks, put the bearings and axles in, C-hubs, lockers, make sure I grease everything, and like I said, the only thing I'm going to put Loctite on is probably these bolts for the locker. So here we go. Alright guys, so there you go. You can see I had some struggles there. I would just suggest put these two outer bearings and this last one in right before you put it on your car, because there's nothing that really holds them in other than your small pins that come with the axle set. But your pins won't stay in either without your wheel on. So just leave those three bearings out till you're ready to mount them. Everything went together perfect. I didn't have any issues as far as fitment. There's probably, what did we say, at least 6 different brands that we're working with, and everything went together. That's how it should be. You could see me struggle for a minute. I knew that the steering knuckles needed to be out front for the steering bar. These should be curved upwards to where you have some negative camber, and then the panhard bar should be on the right hand side of the vehicle, but that's really not going to matter because I'm not running a panhard bar in this buggy anyway, so I might just trim that off. Just make these are both exactly the same other than the panhard bar, so just make sure you know which side your panhard bar mount is supposed to be on. Your arms are out front unless for some reason you want rear steering, but I don't think it'll work because it'll hit the links in the shocks. So that's the front one. That one's the more difficult, the more pieces. The rear one's exactly the same. You have your housing, your 10 bearings, your ring and pinion gear, and then your lockers, and everything fit together tight. Everything went together perfect. I am totally happy with this. I'm not going to show installing them on the actual crawler. You guys have seen that when we built it. So on the next video, these will be installed and we'll be out testing to see how they perform. So I hope you guys liked this video. Thanks for all the new subscribers. I'm trying to get some content out when I can get it out, but you know, it's crazy hot here in Florida, so things are just a little hectic right now, and the whole world is hectic right now, so I hope you guys are doing well. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to use the links in the description if there's anything here you want to buy. It does help out the channel, doesn't cost you anything extra. And I also have some GoolRC stickers. I probably have 100 or so. If you want one of those, you can contact me through my email. It will be in the description. I'll put it on the screen right now. And I'll also put it, it's on my About page on the YouTube. It's lees1.10thgarage@gmail.com. So if you want some stickers, just send me your address through the email and I'll send you out a couple. I'm limited to what I have, so the first 50 to 100 people that email me will get what I have until I run out. So much appreciated, guys. Love talking to all of you. Leave your comments down below, and we will see you next time with this guy on the rocks.